What if the thing you've been running from your entire life is the exact thing waiting to set you free? What if every sleepless night, every racing heart, every "I can't do this" was never your weakness, but your body begging you to finally turn around and look? Somewhere inside you, right now, there is a fear you have never faced, and I promise you, it is not there to destroy you. It is there because it wants to be released. Tonight, I am not going to ask you to be brave. I am going to ask you to be honest. Because the exact moment, you stop running and turn to face what scares you most, something extraordinary happens. Your body exhales, your shoulders drop, and healing, real healing, begins. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share could change the way you see every fear you've ever carried. Fear lives in the body, not just the mind. What if fear was never just a thought, but a physical resident living inside your chest, your stomach, your throat? We are taught that fear is something we imagine, something we can simply think away, but that is not true. Fear settles into the body. It tightens the shoulders, clenches the jaw, disturbs the digestion, and disrupts the sleep of millions of people every single night. The tragic part is that most people spend years treating the symptom, the headache, the tension, the exhaustion, while the real cause, the unspoken fear, sits untouched underneath it all. Your body has been trying to speak to you in the only language it knows: sensation. When you finally listen, really listen, to what your body has been holding, you stop fighting yourself. You stop numbing, avoiding, and distracting. Healing is not found in a pill or a distraction. It is found in acknowledgement. The body was never your enemy. It was your messenger, and messengers deserve to be heard, not silenced. The moment of facing fear is a moment of choice. What if healing was never a process that takes years, but a decision that takes one single second? We love to believe that transformation must be slow, painful, and dragged out over decades of therapy and struggle. But the truth is far more shocking. The instant you choose to stop avoiding your fear, your entire nervous system shifts. Avoidance is what keeps wounds open for a lifetime. Every time you turn away, distract yourself, or pretend the fear doesn't exist, you are choosing to prolong your own suffering without even realizing it. But the moment you turn around and say, "I see you, I am not running anymore," your body receives a completely different message, one of safety instead of threat. This is not about eliminating fear overnight. It is about no longer being controlled by it. The choice to face it, even shaking, even crying, is the exact moment your healing timeline begins to move forward instead of standing still. Self-criticism feeds fear. Self-love starves it. What if the way you speak to yourself in your own mind is the very reason your fear refuses to leave? Most people believe their harsh inner voice is protecting them, pushing them to be better, safer, stronger. But that voice is doing the opposite. Every time you say, "I'm so stupid, I always mess things up," or "something is wrong with me," you are feeding the exact fear you are trying to escape. Self-criticism and fear are not separate. They are partners, keeping each other alive in an endless cycle. This is the uncomfortable truth. You cannot punish yourself into healing. You can only love yourself into it. When you replace judgment with gentleness, when you speak to yourself the way you would speak to a frightened child, the nervous system finally softens. Self-love is not indulgence, it is medicine. And until you offer yourself the same compassion you so easily give to others, fear will always have a place to hide inside you. Your past does not have power over your present. What if the fear controlling your life today isn't even about today at all, but a moment from years ago that never finished healing? So many of our present-day fears are not really about the job interview, the relationship, or the decision in front of us. They are old wounds wearing a new disguise. A harsh word from childhood, a moment of rejection, a memory buried so deep you forgot it was even there, and yet it quietly runs your reactions every single day. This is shocking to hear, but it is true. You can spend your whole life reacting to a moment that ended long ago. The past has no power except the power we continue feeding it through repetition and avoidance. The present moment is the only place healing can actually happen, because it is the only moment that truly exists. When you stop letting an old story write today's chapter, you take your power back, completely, permanently, and immediately. The mirror never lies. Confronting yourself is the first healing. What if the most terrifying thing you will ever face isn't out there in the world, but staring back at you in the mirror? We spend so much energy fearing other people's opinions, future failures, and outside circumstances. Yet the deepest fear almost always begins with how we see ourselves. Looking directly into your own eyes and saying, "I am willing to heal," can feel more frightening than any external danger. This is because the mirror does not allow excuses. It does not allow blame toward your parents, your past, or your circumstances. It asks only one question: are you willing to accept and love the person looking back at you? This single act, uncomfortable, raw, and often tearful, is where true transformation begins. Not in books, not in advice, but in that quiet, honest moment of self-confrontation. Until you can face yourself without flinching, every other fear you face will only be a temporary distraction from the real work waiting inside you. Every fear faced is a door to freedom. What if every fear you have ever avoided has been quietly blocking a door to the exact life you have been praying for? It sounds almost unbelievable, but it is true. Behind every unresolved fear is a version of you that is calmer, freer, and more alive than you can currently imagine. Fear does not disappear because you ignore it. It disappears because you walk straight through it. Each time you face one, a door opens that was previously locked. A new opportunity, a new relationship, a new sense of peace you didn't know was available to you. This is the shocking part most people never realize. Your unfaced fears are not protecting your life, they are shrinking it. Freedom is never found on the other side of comfort. It is found on the other side of courage. Every single fear you have the bravery to face becomes one less wall standing between you and the life you were always meant to live. So tonight, I want you to remember something important. Your fear was never sent to harm you. It came to teach you, to wake you up, to bring you home to yourself. Healing does not begin when the fear disappears. It begins the very moment you stop running from it and turn to face it with love instead of judgment. You do not need to be fearless to heal. You simply need to be willing. Willing to feel, willing to look, willing to love yourself through the discomfort. Every wound you have carried has been waiting patiently, not for punishment, but for compassion. And the moment you offer that to yourself, something shifts forever. You are not broken. You are simply unhealed. And unhealed things can always, always be healed.